All right, now to the day's other big story. The House of Representatives will not be holding votes today as originally planned. Republican leadership canceled them over a divisive elections-related bill being aggressively pushed by President Trump. Just days ago, you'll remember, the president abruptly canceled a signing ceremony for a bipartisan housing affordability bill. He said he would not sign that legislation into law until Congress passes the Save America Act, which would alter how Americans vote in federal elections. Senate Republicans have repeatedly said that measure doesn't have enough support to advance in the upper chamber. Still, GOP hardliners in the House are blocking floor business over the impasse. But after meeting with Speaker Johnson yesterday, President Trump demanded House Republicans unify and stop, in his words, grandstanding. The lower chamber is set to be in session for most of next week. CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us from our D.C. bureau with more on this dust-up. Aaron, good morning. We're hearing from Senator Bill Cassidy after his testy exchange with President Trump this week. CBS News exclusively sat down with him. What did he reveal?
Yeah, this was at a closed-door lunch in the Senate with Republicans that was supposed to be about the SAVE Act, but turned into a bit of a shouting match when it came to the war with Iran. The Louisiana senator said that the Trump administration has not been honest with the American people about the war, and there had also been anger from President Trump's side about Cassidy's vote earlier this week on a largely symbolic resolution to limit the president's power when it comes to launching more military strikes. Cassidy said he then got a briefing after this lunch from Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Vice President Vance in the Situation Room about the war with Iran, where it seems that his concerns about the lack of public information about where the war stands had been addressed. This is what he told Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan.
What did you hear that changed your mind?
So if the original objections were to destroy, degrade, if you will, Iran's nuclear capability, their ability to do a ballistic missile, and their conventional warfare capability, and we were supposed to be out of there in 4 to 5 weeks, with maybe a little bit of a sprinkling of regime change. That's how it came across. The regime change is off the table. That doesn't seem as if that's going to happen. But it does seem as if the way they laid it out, the other 3 objectives can be reached. And with those other 3 objectives, now we have to trust but verify. But as they laid it out, they have a plausible plan by which to achieve those, and that's what I was interested in.
You wanted to get the details on the diplomacy.
Correct.
Now, after this briefing with Witkoff and Vance, Cassidy then voted to reject the similar but different Iran War Powers resolution, as he and other GOP senators who also changed their vote or decided to just vote present cited the administration's claim that the war is technically over with Iran in terms of military operations, and that a vote to limit its powers could undermine the ongoing negotiations the U.S. has with Iran.
Aaron, there's one other item I want to ask you about as it relates to Vice President J.D. Vance, because he's raising a bit of eyebrows today with new comments he made on the Watergate scandal from decades ago. What exactly did he say?
Yeah, this came at an appearance at the Richard Nixon Presidential Library in California, where the vice president said that if Watergate, that scandal involving Nixon's cover-up of a burglary of an opposing political party's headquarters, would just be a, quote, 12-hour news story if it happened today. He then added the idea that it would have taken down the presidency is crazy, and said it was a similar case between how the, quote, deep state took down Nixon and how they went after Trump during his first term with those 2 impeachments. Nixon, of course, resigned as president while the investigation into Watergate was underway, but the vice president's comments on Watergate have already been panned online. We'll see if we'll get any more reaction from his own party today about his comments.
Yeah, pretty remarkable stuff. Aaron Navarro in our D.C. bureau. Thank you, Aaron.